Well, we're having our budget meetings today, but we're working on also the annex across the street. That's going to be converted over to the District Clerk's office here eventually, and deconstruction has already begun. So we're really trying to make it a professional job, a good job. It's an old building, but I think we can make it where it'll really work for us. So we're excited. Working on that this morning, actually. The commissioners are, and some folks are over there working right now.
How long of a project is expected to be?
Actually, we can bake it about as long as we want to, because we really don't plan to move in until January 1st.
Okay.
And so we've got all fall to get this thing done, and truthfully it won't take that much time. That's why we're going to try to find someone who will just do it a little bit at a time. We'll get the best price for the taxpayers and let somebody do it in their part-time job and still get a great office. So we're excited about that.
The entire district clerk office would move over there. I think they take up parts of 2 floors over here.
Right, parts of 2 floors here now, but they'll be all together over there, all in one room. And it's just really going to be awesome for the public, a lot easier for them to be able to reach us.
What are your thoughts and plans for the space that might be left available?
Well, we might talk to Commissioner Wisenbaker's here today, and she might tell some of the ideas that we've had anyway.
All right.
Well, basically, we're kind of just moving the checkers around on the board, to see where the best flow would be. Our district judge definitely needs a private office. Eddie is sharing with Cheryl, and so he needs a private office. There's always the need for your attorneys to have attorney-client meetings, and it was built in 1895, and we're just trying to find some space in here. Our treasurer is next to the women's bathroom with 3 herself, and she's got 2 part-time employees, but there's 3 desks in there, and that's a lot for one office, and it just seems to be the place everybody wants to stop and chat, and bless their souls, sometimes they have to throw long hours to get their work done because they've been stopped so many times during the day. And I think we're just going to have to move stuff around and to see what the best flow is, but definitely county administration will stay in this building, which will include the commissioners.
Mm-hmm. The shape of the building over there, I know maybe a wall was a concern at one time, but apparently got a pretty good report from a structural engineer. So that's the old tax office, isn't it?
Right. It was originally for us, the old tax office, and then people who lived here for a long time can remember all the things it has been over the years, furniture stores and nickel and dime stores and things like that. But anyway, yes, I think that we'll be able to bring that together. And like I said, we've got plenty of time to make this happen. At the same time, the space in the courthouse has been a challenge here, and that's going to loosen us up here. So I think it's all going to work together for everybody.
I would imagine the district attorney would like it, close access with the district clerk's office.
Right.
Maybe that's an advantage, I would think.
Well, and one of the other advantages I would think is that it's always been a dream of Patricia to have all her records on hand right where she was. Mm-hmm. And there's always a negative with everything, but one of the pluses would be that all records would be on site with the district clerk. Mm-hmm.
And truthfully, we hadn't had that in 10, 15, maybe 20 years. So that will really help the situation.
All right. That building, it's kind of been sitting there, and I think except for maybe some small use by a quilting group, but now actually have people back in there probably, I guess, from the time the tax office moved. Right.
Well, we've rented it a little bit to the probation office at one time for their school, and that worked out pretty well. But actually, the building will be fully used again, and I think it's going to be great. Actually, I think the clerk's office will be pleasantly pleased once we get it right.
Is this something that needs to be budgeted for, or will the funds come out of this year's?
I think we have the funds available right now in some contingency funds that we can reach into. We're really not expecting this to be a very high expense. It's renovation rather than. There'll be some construction, but nothing too much. It's more deconstruction than it is, because we're really opening it up rather than building new walls. There will be some new walls, but we're actually opening everything up. And so it's going to be a little bit different than what we've had in the past.
All right. So just to give you more space in this old courthouse building, for kind of expand in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
It will. You know, we lost 5,000 feet during the renovation, and we didn't have it to lose. And it should make the flow of the courthouse a lot better. As you know, the commissioners are downstairs, the auditors downstairs. We're kind of just all on top of each other, and especially for the attorneys and their clients, there's not really a room that they can go to and have a private conversation. So I'm hoping that when we get all the checkers moved around, you know, and really in our minds concentrate on the flow, we'll come up with the best decision for the operation.
And one of the plans that some people question us is what do you continue to want to have court here? And the answer is absolutely yes. This is historical courthouse. There's been historical trials held here, and there will be more in the future. And it's going to be a fully functioning courthouse for as long as this Commissioner's Court exists, for sure. Some people at one point had said, well, why don't we turn it into a museum or something like that? And that's not at all in our plans. It's going to be fully functioning, and we'll have jury trials here, and you know, this is where it should happen, and it does, and it will.
Well, and to me, this is the heartbeat of the downtown area, and it has been since the courthouse was built in 1895. I always, when I get the opportunity and the pleasure of giving tours, I remind everybody that this is their courthouse. And it used to be that we didn't have TV, and we didn't have DVDs, and we didn't have CDs and the video games, and this is where everybody came. You know, when you had a trial back in the old days, everybody came. And that's what this courthouse needs to be, is the center of the downtown operation. And you know, I love it. I think everybody here in Hopkins County knows that, and it's living and breathing, and I want it to be the center of our judicial system 100 years from now. And I think it's possible if we will just take the burden of overcrowding off of it.